know any of y'all have ever had a song that's really affected you, that's really impacted your life and changed how you view things? Me personally, I have one. And it's not only changed how I view things, but also my style of music and how I live my life. And I did some research upon this to better explain the music and the meaning behind the song, to let y'all know a little more about it. And hopefully, even though this song is just a simple message to it, if you take anything from it, it might possibly change your life just like it did. Now, I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about two historical events that happened in the year 1995, as well as the song Jesus Freak, the meaning behind it, what it's impacted my life, and the background of the band Jesus Talk, who made the song. First, let me talk about the historical events. So in the year 1995, the first thing of the historical event that happened was the DVD was announced to the public. The DVD almost didn't happen because it was in a struggle between Sony and Philips and Toshiba and several companies on their projects. Sony and Philips at the time was working on MMCD format, and Toshiba was working on an SD format. And they were both kind of getting into a feud between who and what they were going to make. And at the time, IBM's president stepped in to be a peacemaker between the two, and to be able to form a compromise between the two parties to form together to prevent a costly format war, just like that what happened with VHS and Betamax. So from the compromise, they were able to come together to form one project. And Sony and Philips ended up letting go of their idea to help Toshiba. But on two conditions. Sony and Philips wanted to have their hit geometry program put in, which is a fast tracking program, and they also wanted their Philips EMS software put in as well, which is to help resistance and against scratches and fingerprints. Another big historical event was the Atlantis space mission that happened in 1995. What happened with that is that Atlantis docked with a Russian space station called Mir, which was a big thing just because it became the biggest space station to orbit around Earth at the time, as well as being a big step forward in cooperation between Russia and the United States after being bitter rivals in the Cold War only a few years earlier. It was also became the 100th space mission in American history, manned by humans. Now let me tell you a little bit next about the background of DC Talk. DC Talk was one of the first few bands to actually break through the Christian mold of music that had been set in place for many years. It was made up of a three-man group called with Toby McKeon, Michael Tate, and Kevin Max. They all met at a university in Virginia called Liberty University, and they all met there. They started writing music together to later become DC Talk afterwards. DC Talk was always very outspoken about their beliefs in Christ, and they were always very involved in the world issues that were around their time. Like, for instance, they made a foundation called RACE, which stands for Eliminating Racism and Creating Equality, help fight against racism. They're also always, even though they were very influential and vocal about their beliefs in Christ, they always wanted to make sure their music was enjoyable for everyone to listen to. So even though they had so much success during the years they were a band, they decided to go on hiatus in 2000 for each member to become their own to pursue their own career in music, which each of them had their own success. And as for today, the band's actually going to start a reunion later this year in 2010 to start a tour. Now let me tell you a little bit, lastly, about the meaning of the song Jesus Freak and its impact on my life. Now the song Jesus Freak, as stated by the band, was basically their representation of how they felt they should live their life in Christ, how they should not be afraid of what others thought about them and not be ashamed of being bold and value their own relationship with Christ over what the world views and not be afraid. And as for me personally, I saw this not just as a fun song to listen to, but also as inspiring as to myself, as being a Christian, that although the world may not value my opinion or look good upon it, I should value my own opinion, my own life with Christ and my belief in Him above all else, and stand strong in my convictions. Now, sum it all up, the year 1995 has been a very eventful year. Not only just barely scratched the surface. It was big in research and media and music. And I've shared with you a little bit today about the different things that happened there, about a couple of historical events like the Space Shuttle Atlantis and the DVD, as well as the meaning behind the song, Jesus Freak, and its impact on my life and the background of Decent Talk. Now, hopefully, if you caught anything from today, that I was able to give you a little more knowledge about the music, about the song that I was trying to convey, and that it was able to take from it to put in your own life like I did mine. Thank you very much for your time.